Good morning, and welcome to Windmill territory. We are in Amsterdam, and I'm out with a very nice chap, Sergio. He's booked himself on a Faroe Islands trip with us, and as we were visiting Amsterdam, he said, come and say hello. So I did come and say hello, and he's brought us down. He's been our taxi service this morning. He's brought us down to Windmills. We've been in Amsterdam for a couple of nights, and we've been walking around the town, and we've been just infested with people and the bustling city. And this morning I said, I'd like to see some windmills, and there you go. How many windmills do you want to see? It is foggy. It's before the sun rises, but it's still going to be quite pretty. I think you're looking like a minimal black and white sort of shot, and that just looks great. It just looks great. I want to get my camera out. I'm going to give it a go. I've got a little tiny travel pack, as per usual when I'm doing these sort of little travelling things, where Marta decides to chuck me on a plane and doesn't book any luggage, so I've just got to go very small and lightweight. But yeah, I've got a camera and I've got a little mini tripod, so yeah, let's get it out and have a look. As soon as I look through the lens, then I'll get my juices flowing. So yeah, but that looks cool. I've never seen so many windmills in the same place. Right, we've just had the quick conversation about what brand and flavour of camera he's got, and he's a Canon man. We're okay then, aren't we? No, the shot's set up. I've gone very simple. I've slapped my camera on my extremely flexible, tiny little tripod and balancing it on a nice wet jetty, which is fine when there's no spikes and it's all slippering around. But yeah, I'm just being very, very careful and conscious not to knock it and bang it. Because I shoot with the Fuji, it's quite lightweight anyway. I've got the standard lens on for my travel kit, which is my 16 to 80, so I've got a nice little range with me. The shot in front of me is simple. Point it at the windmills, press the shutter button. But there is a little bit of tinkering to do, and that is I've got these 3 little posts in the water, and what I don't want is one of them posts reaching up and touching what I'm going to call the horizon line, which is basically where the shore hits the or the water hits the bank, so it's hitting the bank, hitting the windmills, and you'll notice that there's a little post that's just reaching up to touch it, and I don't want that actually touching the post and touching the actual windmill. 2 windmills are moving. What have I got in front of me? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 with what are they called? Fans? Wings? Sails? Sails. They're called sails. There's 5 with sails on, and there's 1 in the distance without, which I've just got on the edge of the frame. And the reason it's just on the edge is because I've got some metal railings right next to me and I don't want them in. The birds are flying over. If I could get a mega fast shutter speed, it would be pretty cool to have some birds in it, but you're not going to at this time in the morning, and it's about 1.5 seconds. Yeah, it's nice and simple. The nice thing with the 2 windmills that are moving is that you've got a little bit of momentum, a little bit of motion blur, just going on the blades on the sails, which is quite cool because it shows they're actually working. Wasn't expecting to see them moving, to be honest. But yeah, first shot's done. Simple. Just going to have a walk around now, get these juices flowing, try and get my eye back in the game, and see what else we can create. Again, it's really good. I've not really had my photography head on the go for a long, long time. This year I haven't even been out with my camera much in the UK. I've been concentrating on a lot of stuff at home and things like that. So I've not really had my mind sort of focusing on photography. And so the first thing I wanted to do when I got here was try and find something a little bit different. And I think I found one that just might be the non-obvious photograph that someone might take. I've got 3 windmills, the one in the foreground with the building, which is obviously the dominant, prominent image. I've got a lamp post on the right-hand side, which I'm going to try and just turn the light on a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a glow. But it's like this trapdoor in the floor. Now, I know it's a modern trapdoor, there's nothing old and ancient about it, but they're trying to make it look a little bit older. And I've used that as a bit of a foreground interest. And then you've got this little tiny cobbled street. Again, it's not an old cobbled street, I don't think. I think it's more of a modern design one. But it just gives you a little bit more interest to add to the photograph rather than just water and windmills. And then there's 2 going off in the distance. So yeah, I think it works. I think it's okay. I'm going to focus stack it. I focused at f8 on the foreground. But I think I might just focus stack it just to make sure that the back windmills are in focus. But yeah, a little bit different, a little bit of colour in this one. Again, I'm going to try and put that little light on and we'll see what we can make of it. Let me know what you think. Is it one of these shots that you think, why have you done that? It's not about that trapdoor, or do you think it actually works? we've got a couple of other shots. I'm just trying to take a few shots. There's a few more tourists coming out now and coming out to play, and Sergio was saying how busy this place is, and you can imagine this is probably a mecca for photography. I mean, just look at it. I mean, it's just amazing. We're still stood in the same spot. Now, I've gone for a little bit more, let's call it fine art, shall we? That's what Sergio called it, I'm using his words. So we've got the 3 pillars, 3 anchor points, or whatever you want to call them, in the foreground. They're filling up this void. We've then got 3 windmills behind it, so we've got 3 and 3, so we're going for the thirds again. Don't you turn around and say, well, 3 and 3 is 6, because it's still 3 and 3. And the water's calming, so you're getting this bit of a reflection. 2-second timers on, keeping it as still as possible. Because I'm standing on wood, I'm trying not to move my feet and sort of jiggling around, because all the movement will move these walk boards. And just take 1 or 2 shots, because there is a seagull sitting on the centre post, which is perfect as long as he keeps his head still. But this is really quite a nice little shot. I think I might even just bump it up a little bit. Let's go I'm going to knock my f-stop up to f14, and I'll try a slightly longer one. This gives me 2.5 seconds, get the movement of the water even smoother. But yeah, there's a beautiful reflection in the water now, just so you can see the windmills in the water, which is really cool. And that grey minimal background as well, it's just very, very plain, very, very simple. And the windmills have stopped moving, which is nice, because now you can see all the sails, all the blades there. But what I am trying to do is make sure I don't overlap the reflections to the post as well. And that took a little bit of fine tuning just to get it in the right place. This is a really pretty little place. Go on, Sergio, what's that?
Your outfit for next time, for the Pharaoh.
Oh yeah, little man in red.
It's, what do you call it?
He looks like a Teletubby.
Yeah, Teletubby.
Yeah, there's a guy over it. In fact, there's a couple of them dressed in their onesies, look like Teletubbies. So cool. Yeah, we're now wandering down to the side of these little buildings, and it's not just the windmills. These buildings are absolutely stunning. These are proper oldie worldy, traditional looking, Netherlandish, Dutch. Yeah, they're pretty. They're pretty. Spot the continuity as well. What's changed? Let me know in the comments. Very pretty shot set up right now. So I've got the camera set up again. I've reached over the fence to try and get a little bit of a sort of stretch to sort of separate the building and the water. But we've got this lovely little building just there with this little unique little lovely little iconic little bridge reaching over these little canals. I've taken several shots so the people are in different places so I can clone the people out. The only thing I'm not quite sure is that light that's running around the bottom, because it's a sort of got Christmassy light or something that's sort of stretching around the bottom of it, but it's quite a nice pretty little one. We're making our way down the buildings now to see what's down here, but this is really, really cute. Very, very difficult to take photographs with so many people. It is an absolute tourist trap. There's coach loads coming in, and it's even early in the morning. There's no sun come up. The sky is staying pure grey. Not very inspiring for these sort of photographs. I think this really does need that country feel, or the blues and the fluffy clouds, or the sunrises on sunsets. So it's not going to be the best photographs, but I'm not going to be here every day, am I? I'm not going to be back again, if ever. So I've got to take what I can take when I can take it. So I've got down really, really low. I stooped down, got my tripod as low as it'll possibly go, and I'm shooting vertical because I want to get this reflection of the lighthouse. And what is nice is because there's no wind, at least we've got the reflection. So we haven't got the sky, we haven't got the background, sort of, if you like, the colours and the atmosphere, but we have got this pure reflection, which is really, really pretty. And I'm going to move over to the right as well. I'm going to take another shot of the scene as well. Again, losing the windmill a little bit, but I'm trying to get rid of a tree on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, sorry. But yeah, another nice little simple shot, just literally pointing it at the windmill, and just take them. Just take what you can, when you can. Take as many as you can as well, because if you take sort of 10 different shots of the same image without moving the camera, you can actually clone out the people as they're moving around and try and get rid of all the people. And do try and take out all your lampposts and road signs as well if you can. And I've just noticed a car's pulled up on the corner. That's not too good either, so I'll see if I can clone that out. of the little buildings, and they've got like a cheese exhibition type of thing on how it's made, and goat's cheese and cow cheese and all that sort of cheese. But yeah, it's pretty cool just to have a little look round to see how these things are actually used and what these buildings were actually for back in their day. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I like this sort of stuff. Just gives you a little bit of interest to what the buildings were like, and looking at the roofs and the stuff. There's no chance I'm going to get photographs around here now. We've got so many people, it's untrue. But yeah, we're on a little jetty, walked out so we can get to see these mills up close. Pretty cool. They're all used for different things as well, for grinding, milling. Yeah, just generally these are all working mills for making and producing, I think, food more than anything, and produce. Some of the mills and that you see around are for obviously for irrigation and water supplies and moving and transporting and, you know, shifting water around. But yeah, these ones, as far as I can make out, listening and looking at all the stuff that's going on around there, are all for actually, I think, produce. Very nice to look at though. So I'm pushing my luck a little bit now. I've come right on the water's edge. I've gone for a vertical shot, so I've got the camera pointing upwards. And I've got the windmill in front of me, and the one on the left is spinning. The one on the right is solid. I'm just going to balance my exposures by trying different f-stops, which is going to adjust my shutter speed. Now, the reason I'm not messing with filters is because it's just awkward with my little bag on my back, and I've got a couple of filters with me, but yeah, I don't want to be messing around on the water's edge if I can help it. So by adjusting the f-stop, it's giving me a slightly different length of exposure, and I think that I'm doing to get a little bit of movement. Yeah, I've got a little bit of movement at f18, so I'm going to go to f14, which is giving me 0.2 of a second, and I should just get a little bit of a twist just in the sails, in the blades as I move, just to show the movement. Yep. And now what I want to try and do is get the movement so that the two blades are at a diagonal. Does that make sense? Rather than straight through. Because when it's going straight down, one of the blades are hidden by the actual windmill body, and I wanted to sort of try and get them sticking out either side. So yeah, not bad. And we've got a nice bit of reflection as well underneath. Shame about the grey sky, but there's not much I can do about that. But yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Inside now. I'm going to have a look inside this one, and I didn't realise, but these ones are thatch. This one's actually it's got a thatch outer skin to it, which is quite interesting. I've never noticed that before on any other windmills I've ever seen. So let's go and have a look inside. So Sergio's brought us out. We were looking for a coffee shop, somewhere to get coffee, and he's found this little hotel. He's seen these photographs of this hotel. He said, I've never been here, let's go and have a look at it. And this is it behind me. What a wicked hotel this is. It has definitely got a really cool look about it. It looks like all these little buildings are stacked on top of each other like little boxes, and they've all got a little bit of a character to them. But this whole little village area, this little shopping centre, this little mall, is quite a pretty one. Even the Primark, I mean, what a posh Primark that is. Yeah, that's a great looking building. Definitely worth taking a couple of photographs. I might have to get a little wider angle lens out and see if we can get it all in.